cheers and stuff.
Cheers and good stuff.
This, make sure that's good.
Jeez, so many different.
All right. I think it's going live as we speak.
All right. We'll learn today.
On the other box here. But once again, we're back with the Once Real Variety Hour. So we're your hosts. I'm Vern.
And I'm Nathan.
And I am Scott.
And we're here to give you variety
welcome.
over the course of an hour.
New headlining in. I got a bunch of questions. You had some questions too, Nathan,
Yeah.
but I listed a bunch too. So whoever wants to go first, it don't matter to me.
Yeah. Hit us with a question, Nate. What did you have in your list? That was a good list.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I've got it written. Let me get my.
Oh, I got
Yeah, man.
fucking
What
Brazilian
are we drinking?
beer
I'm drinking
here.
Truly. What do you got, Nate?
Oh, I've got just a good old classic. I finished the first one. Good old Yingling.
Yingling, all right.
Brewery in America.
That's some good stuff.
I have a Brazilian beer.
Ooh.
It's called.
Bring that back?
I guess Skol. Yeah, I did. I brought it from Brazil.
Oosh, don't tell anybody.
Pilsen.
Don't tell anybody. He's a smuggler.
Oh, snap.
Scott's
Yeah.
a
You're a
smuggler.
Brazilian smuggler. Scott,
I am
you're a
smuggler.
Brazilian smuggler.
Did you pay the taxes on that? Did you pay taxes? Scott's a fucking smuggler. I love it. Scott's a pirate now.
Anybody
He's now black
watching?
Don't tell anybody.
Keep it
All right.
quiet.
So what'd you have?
Oh, sorry.
And Nathan is fulfilling his role as a true West Virginian. Playing the fucking jug out here. Just get your string on a stick and fucking make it a band already.
As soon as he started playing that little rhythm, I start thinking of VeggieTales. How weird
That's
is that,
fucking
Nathan?
hilarious too. I used to watch
When
that
I
when I was
get
a
when I
kid.
get further down in this one, I'll do it for you. It'll be
My
great.
favorite one was the David and Goliath one.
David and Goliath one.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that
And
stuff.
then there was
saw that
another
one.
one where they were dressed up as like Romans, and I think it was the crucifixion.
Oh,
That was another one that I was like, I was deeply
Jeez,
traumatized.
that sounds a
by.
little too serious to be VeggieTales.
No, this is VeggieTales. And they just wasn't that serious. Like they just talked about the fucking the things that led up to the. It didn't show anybody getting crucified, but I just remember it being like the things leading up to it and showing like the Romans like escorting Jesus and shit. I remember having this. It was like a VHS of VeggieTales. It was like hours long.
I guess since your parents were Christian, or your grandparents were Christian, you watched that type of thing.
Yeah, man, my
Gotcha.
aunt, my grandmother were like really religious when I was growing up, so they had
I
me
got you.
deeply invested as a child. But not to make it
Gotcha.
about me and my grandmother's religious habits.
No, I was just curious, not to make anything
It
awkward.
was just funny. We just got so far off the topic.
we just started. We haven't
I
even
know,
actually
dude.
started.
We rabbit hole so fast. We're 3 minutes and 25 seconds in, and we already found a weird thing to talk about. It's great. How about you? What was your grandmother like when you were growing up?
VeggieTales and Vernon's grandma.
Fucking hilarious.
You guys go.
I've got my Mr. Rogers shirt going on.
Oh, bro, you're reprising your role as Mr. Rogers this
Rogers.
week.
That's right.
Good
Yeah.
vibes.
Was that last
Good
week that you did that, right? You started the
It
thing with
was. It was Cardi G.
the Cardi
hour.
G. Yeah.
Cardi G. Yeah.
Cardi G.
And Chinergy.
Oh, that was a good episode. God, that was
I
a
just
funny
feel like we
one.
have a good Chinergy, bro.
We had a
gotta
good
get-
laugh that entire time.
This is a Mr. Rogers episode?
Yeah, last episode, Nathan started up. If anybody wants a good fun beginning, just watch the beginning of last episode. Nathan began with a monologue in the style of Mr. Rogers.
It's true. It was about
asked
that,
you to be our bros and wear a Cardi G.
You have to go back
Cardi
and watch that one.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
We
I
had
was
a good
proud
time.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All
All right.
less
What do
on
we got?
VeggieTales. What do you got for a question, Nathan? What was the thing you said?
One thing was, what do you think? Well, there's two different ones. Let's start with this. What, in your opinion, is the best medium of music distribution?
It was about that, Sorry.
I guess I'll just shut up and
in the middle
go
of
fuck
saying-
myself.
just stop.
Nathan.
He's
I
trying to
start
shut up the
talking to
other
my
thing
laptop
making sound.
sometimes when I'm using it.
I do the
The
same
laptop
thing.
started
Like,
playing. I'm trying to get our feed from the other
I was doing the same
tab,
thing.
and it started playing our audio. I was not trying to shush you, Nathan, but it was hilarious.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I know, Scott. I'm giving you a hard time. All right. So, what do you think, in your opinion, is the best medium by which we distribute music? Like physical, digital. Like, how do you think it's the best way to get it out there? Yeah.
I mean, digital.
I feel like
Spotify?
that's the best answer. I like legitimately. If you're talking efficiency's sake, digital like a motherfucker, right? Because then anybody can hear your shit.
Yeah.
For efficiency, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, that's
so
sort of the
easy
obvious.
to access things.
Yeah.
I feel like the
Yeah.
only thing
Yeah.
that not having digital medium, like not having the digital medium, because that sounded like a caveman, not having the digital medium as like a format to distribute music on would be really weird. Like I feel like the way that they used to do it, it was so slow. Like for somebody to hear your music, you had to have vinyls or CDs printed or tapes made, and then fucking sent across the country to a fucking store. Then it had to be stocked in a store. And then somebody had to go to that store and find your specific album cover and think, wow, that's fucking neat. And then pick that up and take that home. And then remember that they have it, for one. And then two, put it in their CD player, cassette player, and listen to it. Or their vinyl record player, and then fucking throw that on there and listen to it. That's a lot of fucking steps versus click, click. Oh, okay. Next. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of work.
True story.
Yeah.
I remember us having discussing this subject a while ago.
Yeah.
To where it's like an album, going to the store and buying an album was like part of the process. It's like it's taking away those steps and it's making it a little less important. I mean, a little less. How should he put it? I forget exactly. Nathan had a good explanation, but I can't remember what you said. But it was just like
I think
it just takes away the value of the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
I was saying I see what you're getting at. Yeah, that's sort of a personal opinion.
Yeah.
But I think there's more and more people agreeing with me because I'm right. No, I'm just kidding. But well, I don't know if it was this past year or the year before that.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't know if it was this past year or the year before that, but it was like the first year that vinyl records were outselling CDs. Now, CDs are sort of like the in-between between just having digital downloads and having a vinyl record.
Sure.
But it seems like people really are digging the authenticity that comes with having like a physical copy of something. At least that's how I feel about it. Like I've got my record player right over here. Right. Over
Yeah.
here.
But then, like, the other side of this is like the other side of this is like we don't have to tour to Russia, but we have people listening to us in Novosibirsk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
cool.
the flip side to this coin
Bristol.
is like we don't have to go on tour and hang out in fucking Moscow, but there's some kid over there that's listening to Illusions and enjoy the show and take it away, and they're just like, wow, this is banging. I'm into this. They're like,
In
"Yuri,
Russia,
Yuri,
you are inside
listen
the
to this."
voice's head.
And then they're like, listen to this guy, he scream. And then I scream, and they go, yes. Da.
He screamed.
Yeah. Da.
What was it? In Russia, you are inside voice's head.
No, I honestly though it's like interesting to me because it's amazing to think that like, all right, so for example, I know like Metallica, they didn't have like fans in fucking the UK until they toured there. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have sales in the UK until they went there and they played for people and people went, wow, it's fucking crazy. We should listen to these guys, and they started buying their albums. You know what I mean? Nirvana, same deal. Like, you know, these bands that like they're household names. There's a reason why they're household names. You know, they were accessed in a certain way at the time, but that doesn't exist anymore because everybody has access to widespread. Yeah, totally different.
It's a different world.
Different world.
It's one of those things. Like in the old the old world.
In the old world. In the old world, comrade.
Well, like, you know, since that was the only way you could do music was through like albums or having a CD or having a physical copy in some way. That was so normal that it's like you wouldn't have to put as much into it in order for people to buy it. But now, because people have the alternative that's way more convenient, it's like you have to make the hard copy version of it a higher quality in order for it to even be considered sellable, and you can't get quite as much for it. But I think that's kind of interesting, because then you end up with like records that are printed to be played at 45 RPM, which means you can get more data, or you get theoretically a higher quality.
Fidelity, right?
Higher fidelity. Yeah. Right. Or like you'll have more stuff in the booklet, or maybe you'll have a different kind of case that, or like certain records are like a different color. They have color prints. They have different some of them.
A popular thing now is tour tickets. They give away you can redeem a copy of a tour ticket for a copy of an album sale. Yeah, because people don't buy albums. I think 21 Pilots did something like that. Yeah, where they literally you could, if you bought the collector's edition of one of our albums, you got like a redeemable thing for a tour ticket somewhere on the thing, and they had a certain number of tour tickets set aside at each of the shows that were specifically for this thing, and they sold out every fucking one. So it worked out perfectly. It was a great gamble, right? It's an awesome gamble when that works out, because people bought that many copies of your thing, and it made it a fucking platinum selling thing within years. How great is that?
Fucking A, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking
killing the system. You know what I mean? it's just take advantage of it. Whatever you can
killing
do.
The name of
you
the
take
system.
the system. If it's right here, you're like,
bleed it dry.
Killing it.
Take advantage of it. Because that's the only way to do it now. That's the only way. In the music industry, you have to take advantage of the system that exists. And that is what it is.
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. Because you have to adapt to the world that's around you. If you get stuck, saying it would be the wrong way to go about it to say, well, records are just better, so we should only put it on records, and people just have to get with it and know what's better. It's like that kind of
yeah.
It's just adaptation.
Good luck.
It's like how it has to be with any business. You have to adapt.
Yeah.
Right.
No matter what type of business.
See you later,
Every
2003,
business
Lars
seems
Ulrich.
like at some point is going to be obsolete, If they don't try and my uncle's business was a printing business.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody uses that stuff anymore. People have been trying to convince them they need to try and find a way to make it more relevant to today's different systems, and it's as the business is deteriorating. So
that's tough.
Yeah,
that's just how it works.
That's crazy, because my dad actually does printing. He's been doing printing for 30 years or something, as long as I've been alive.
Really?
Yeah, he's always
I wonder
been.
if he's worked with my uncle's printing business, Patent Printing Supplies.
What is it?
Oh, that's
Patent Printing Supplies.
Patent printing supplies.
Patent printing.
Yeah, it's not that. It's Icorn printing, I think it is. They tend to focus on doing business for businesses and stuff. So they'll do periodicals for schools, or they'll do pamphlets from I don't know, offices and stuff like that. So
yeah, this company they gave the supplies as well as they worked on the presses themselves. So it's possible.
It's possible.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny. How great would that be?
Yeah. Ironic, extremely.
Individual families.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So it's funny we're talking about the medium of the distribution thing. You started talking about my next question was actually, what do you think is the future of the music industry?
Ooh.
Future of the music industry.
Can I be honest?
No idea where to go with that.
Yeah. I only want you to be honest, Vernon. I don't want you to fucking lie.
No, I'm gonna lie to you. No, I honestly think it's probably some VR type shit.
VR?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I honestly think that. Well, for a couple of reasons too. One, how cool would it be if your favorite artist had a 360-degree camera strapped to their head while they were playing their live show? And instead of watching a show from a crowd, you watched the show from them playing it. And you could flick around between the people playing, and you watched their live thing doing a show.
That would be cool. I mean, I'm not saying
I see that in the.
I wouldn't say that's the only option as far as
no,
like.
It won't be the only option, but I see that being the future of it.
That would be cool.
I guess it would go along with other things that would be VR. I mean, we've already got games and stuff that are VR.
Right.
Only a matter of time before.
I have actually seen some stuff on YouTube that is, I guess you could say, VR. Like, they have the option. You go on YouTube and you play the video, and you can see it from every angle.
Yeah.
Like, there's a circle of people playing. So it's kind of going that way. And
I'm telling you, man, we're just a step away from it. But like the other half of that too is like if that's the situation, you could also flick between being in their head and watching it from that position, or being back in the crowd watching it live. Like we're so close to being able to do this. I mean, like it's the graphical representation of a human is like the easiest thing to take care of in that situation, right? Like just making it so that the audience member doesn't see a camera strapped to your head. That's easy. That's probably the easiest part. The hardest part is the programming of like everybody connecting to it. The hardest part is the network infrastructure of that. Like we could do that already. We have all the technology to do that tomorrow. It's just the network infrastructure of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then someone being willing to actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense because I mean, right now we have so much streaming going on too. You know, like that's pretty much what anyone can. That's like the only option almost. Like there's some live music happening, but it's like so little and far.
Oh man, and it's like questionable that people are even doing it. Like, I don't know. So many times I see people doing these live things at venues, and I'm like, why? What are you doing? What's the point?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like we didn't have that much experience whenever, or I'm sorry, we didn't have that great of an experience with like playing live shows as it was.
Right.
Because it's like we'd have a few people there. Like maybe we had a couple of friends come out to see us, personal friends, and then besides that, just in general, we might have had 15 people, 20 people. If we got...
Our like two best shows, I think we capped out at around 50 to 60 people that were there. Those are two best shows, though. You know what I mean? That's
and one of them was what, Fishhead?
One was Fishhead. Actually, I guess we had three good ones now that I'm thinking about it. We had one that was Fishhead. That one was fucking stacked because that was the Silver Tongue show. That was the last one we played. That was fucking outstanding, by the way.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
Shout out to the fucking Tongue guys. That's a fucking great band. But that was just a great show all around. The Tongue guys.
Not Silver Tongue, just Tongue.
Yeah, Silver Tongue. The Tongue guys. No, that's their name. Yes. You didn't hear? They changed it just yesterday. They're the Tongue guys now. Yeah. No, but that was our last show that we played.
I'm glad they did that because I appreciate that even more.
Could you imagine? We're going to change our name to that so they'll be forced to take us on tour.
The Tongue guys.
Silver Tongue and the Tongue guys as their supporting act. Oh, fuck, that's funny. Fuck, that's funny.
Introducing the Tongue guys!
Yeah, I think more people would come out. Nathan, what are you doing? I think more people would come out to see us.
Keep going. I want to sing along.
We should definitely investigate this idea of doing live shows in this way. This
I think
augmented reality way.
Well, I mean, when you guys bring up the whole live show thing, I mean, it's given that that's how it's going to be when you first start. I mean, I still think that in a way that
I don't think we did anything wrong. I think we're doing well.
But at the same time, it's just like we
also
have to bring
that was where I was going. Actually, that's where I was going with that point before we kind of derailed a little bit. I was saying that those like three good shows that we had, they weren't like three good shows that happened near the end. They've been three good shows along the way. So it's not like we're not the problem. Our live performance is pretty good. We know how to sell tickets. The problem is that people don't go to fucking live shows anymore. Like, it's the weirdest thing. It's the strangest fucking thing. Yeah.
All them bunch of couch potatoes. It's an unfortunate thing.
But like that means when we go out of this pandemic, people aren't going to go to live shows. They're not going to care to do it. It's not worth it still, you know?
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people that are saying, like, I can't wait till the pandemic's over. And I'm like, can you, though? Can you wait till the pandemic's over?
Kind of reminds me of a meme that's like, how does it go? It's like, Well, all the bars are closed, all the restaurants are closed. I can't go anywhere, and my life has not changed at all.
Bingo.
Yeah, for a lot of people that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like if people weren't willing to go to shows before the pandemic,
Why would
how
they be
willing are
willing
they
to
going
go
to be
after?
after? Yeah,
Why?
and it's like the only time that people are going to want to actually go to like a live show is if it's a large, famous band
Right.
that they really like.
Right. Yeah, they're not gonna come to see your shitty bar band. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
What the
Yeah.
fuck? They're not gonna come see you do a
Get to work
Joan
your way
Jett
up.
cover for the 14th time in your fucking music career.
Yeah. Well, that being said,
Well, that's what I want to do, Vern. You got a problem with that?
We've never done a Joan Jett cover. We've never covered Joan Jett ever.
one of the more successful ventures, if you're just looking at the local scene and to make some money, doing cover gigs is, well, before the pandemic, it wasn't too bad. Like, I know that's something that Will did a lot. He went around doing.
No, that's
cover
the way
gigs.
to make money. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you want to make money at a band,
Yeah.
don't write your own music.
Yeah.
That's what everybody says. It's the smartest way to do it.
Right.
Go
It's-
fucking write your own music.
Don't write your
Do it.
own. It's not worth it.
Right.
Because you won't really make it. 90% of people don't have the understanding that like the musical talent either isn't there or isn't going to be there, like because it just isn't, or they don't understand that there's no money in fucking trying to push your own brand because there isn't. There's no money in this. There's
Well,
none.
at least for a while, and at least if you keep trying the same kind of way to do it,
Yeah.
which appears to not be that successful
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like the shift, the tide has shifted in terms of the music industry. And
Well, like that's
It's
why I
just
feel like
no-
we checked out on a lot of those live shows anyway. When we went into the pandemic, we'd already said consciously we're not doing shows unless they pay at this point because we made money
Right.
on the last one. It was pretty decent. You know what I mean? Like, and we sold
Yeah.
merch, and it was a good show. And so that's where I'm like, why the fuck would we
What
do
was
live
the-
shows if we're not making money? Like, why would we do live shows if we're spending money to do them? Fucking waste.
right,
Yeah. Our last
now
couple
that
of
being-
ones we made money on,
What was
actually. To be fair.
yeah. That being said,
Not really change the subject. What was our last show? Was that the Silver Tongue
That
show?
was the
Or no,
Silver
no,
Tongue
no.
show,
That
right?
was.
what it was
I thought it was the
Fox, I think.
Frozen Harbor.
Oh, it was Frozen Harbor. You're right.
Frozen
Oh,
Harbor.
yeah, it was Frozen
You're right.
Harbor.
And that was another good one. We had like fucking 40 people deep, and that was like as many people that could fit there.
Yeah.
That place is stacked.
Yeah, that was cool. Even though my voice was fucking fried.
Dude, we were
Oh, that was-
fucked up. It was cold as shit. That was the last winter. Goddamn.
That was terrible. It was in January, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. January or
Yeah.
February.
Just about a full year ago.
Yeah,
Almost the beginning of the pandemic.
you're right though. That was that one. Yeah, it was that, and then the tongue show was right before that, I think.
Yeah.
No. I think the one before that was the Blue Fox.
That was before that. That was definitely
Really?
before that. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I can tell you
Blue
because
Fox, not the place
it
in-
satisfied a cigarette craving that I didn't know I had.
Ah.
It's funny you say Blue Fox because that's the name of the hotel that I went to
Oh, that's
in
funny.
Brazil.
Oh, really?
That's weird.
That's very funny.
He's like, yeah,
Blue
weirdly
Fox.
enough, hanging above the person in the middle was a Winchester white rifle.
I got some questions for us.
Yeah,
You guys want? Okay.
Do it.
Let's see here. Well, I already asked this question. How's everyone been this past week?
Oh, you're stealing my
But,
fucking
let's
questions,
not-
Scott. Everybody's stealing my questions. I'm gonna make a compilation of you guys stealing that question from me. Because it's me for like 9 weeks doing it, and then after the 9th week, you guys started like jumping on it before I said it.
Wasn't me. That was Nathan. I
You
didn't
did
do
it
any
like
of
last
that.
week, the week before, yeah. Well, my
Okay.
week's not been bad.
These questions have nothing to do with the band. Honestly, I went a little off the grid here,
No, it's
but
fine. I like that. Nate and I
who
went
was
way
your
off
first
topic.
crush in school?
My first crush in
Who was your
school?
first crush in school, and what grade was it?
Can I tell you a
And
story?
what was her name?
Can I tell you a story? I don't think my
Sure.
first crush from school exists. I think I'm insane. So I think, all right. So hear me out. So hear
All
me
right,
out.
I'm into you right now. I'll see
I'm
you guys
very
later.
I'm very interested.
So I think I'm insane. So when I was younger, I can remember this person very like vividly, but I don't think they exist. Like I've done everything in my power to try and find the proof that they exist. I can't even find my first grade yearbook for some reason. Like I don't know if I went to school in the first grade. Like that's how much of this I'm not sure exists. Like it's fucking insane.
Oh my goodness, dude, that is.
Let me back up. So like I have a vivid memory. A vivid memory.
I have a vivid memory.
A vivid memory. I'm also intoxicated. I vividly remember this girl named Erin was her name. Erin was how it was spelled, but I don't remember her last name. I don't have her last name. And what's that? What?
Was she really Erin, or did you just imagine her?
And that's who knows, man. So in first grade, we had this really weird school, Holly Hall Elementary, right? And the classrooms that we were in first grade were kind of fucking strange. Like, I don't think there was enough room for all the classes there. So they put the fifth graders out in the trailers, right? Because they were like, they're mature enough to understand they're out in trailers, whatever. But like the first graders had to share the art rooms with the band teacher and the art teachers, right? And so, like, our first grade classes, I remember this part specifically. That's why I'm like, I'm pretty sure first grade happened, guys. Don't hear me out. I don't think I was in a coma for first grade or anything. But basically, we had to share these rooms, and this was normal. The only reason this really matters to me, I know that I also played the flute in the first grade. That was like when I first got interested in music, when I first learning sheet music, basically. And so, like, when I was in first grade, because we shared it with the music room, I remember meeting up with the band teacher and then being like, who's interested in music? And I was like, I am. And they were like, what do you want to do? And I was like, the flute. And they were like, have you ever played the flute? And I was like, no, but I played the recorder. And they're like, were you good at it? I was like, well, yeah, I think so. And then they had me play a recorder, and I was actually decent at it. Like, I remember how to play, like, hot cross buttons and shit. And they're like, oh, okay, like, word? So I got into flute. But I remember having to stay in that room all the time for these band classes, like, for this band class. Like, I had to stay in, but it wasn't, like, in between, like our first, like, half of the day, because it was, like, first grade. So it was, like, they did, like, halves. It was, like, an English thing, and then it'd be, like, our lunch, and then it'd be, like, a mathematics, and then it'd be, like, the end of the day. And then, like, the next day it'd be, like, a science, and then a social studies, and then the end of the day, right? And that's how they did it. They, like, broke it up in that sort of way. And so, like, basically, when I was in the first grade, I would do the band thing in between, like, the first period and lunch. They would give us, like, 30 minutes a block. And then, like, at the end of the day, right before the end of the day, it'd be, like, 30 minutes at the end of the day. And I remember hanging out with this girl, Erin, all the time, to the point that, like, we were, like, holding hands. I was, like, in first grade holding hands with a girl. And I was like, oh, shit. I felt like I was, like, a cool kid. You know what I mean? Like, oh, a girl is interested in me. I'm, like, in first grade. This is weird. And then she got moved to another class because the classes, we got classrooms finally. They finished the half of the building that we were waiting on. And so we all got classrooms, and we got a new teacher. And they were like, oh, well, now we can support having more people. So you guys are all going to move into, like, the actual rooms. And they put us in actual rooms, and I never saw her again. So I'm pretty sure Erin doesn't exist.
Oh, wow.
So Erin, if you're out there. Like, I don't know.
Maybe it's like a Mandela effect thing.
Dude, I fucking yeah, bro. Like, it's weird. Like, it's fucking weird. I remember it so vividly. I remember first grade so vividly. But, like, this person, I can't even find my first grade yearbook. I found my first grade yearbook eventually, actually, and I never found the name at all. And so, like, I remember at some point asking my mom about it, and she was like, yeah, you did have, like, a little girlfriend in first grade or some shit like that. She's like, I don't remember what her name was, though. And I'm like, this bitch didn't exist. She didn't fucking exist. She's not real. It's fucking fake.
Wow.
So, Nathan, your story.
What do we got?
Wait, what? What did you say?
What's your first crush? My first crush didn't exist. What
Your
do you
story
got?
there, Nathan.
Oh, my first crush? It's not nearly as cool or exciting, but I think I don't have any insanity
That's
involved
okay.
in
That's
this one.
okay. We're not competing.
Yeah. It's pick yourself
funny.
up off of the floor, Vernon. No, it was in fifth grade.
Ooh,
And
more mature.
yeah, you know. I'm trying to remember. I think her name was Jasmine,
That's a
but I
nice
don't
name.
remember her last name. It is a nice name. That's pretty much all I got, bro.
Yeah.
I never, nothing ever happened with it. And then I went to middle school, and that was that. So not very exciting, but I
I'm
did
gonna go
have
organize
a
a heist and break into Holly Hall Elementary School, steal the records from my first grade year, like 1995 fucking 9 or something like that. 2001, I was in 3rd grade, so yeah. Guess why I remember that. Yeah, 1999 would have been 1st grade. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, Scott?
My first crush was in 7th grade, and the ladies. Oh, jeez. I don't want to say the lady.
And the lady, she was 35 years old. She was my English teacher. Half teacher.
She's checking me out. We held hands later on. Things are getting real. 7th grade with the 35-year-old English teacher. Anyway, her name was Amy, and her last name was Dondrea.
And everybody else called her Mrs. Andrea.
You might have to call the police.
Shut up!
You might have to file a report.
Oh my god.
Yeah, in 7th grade, I had a big crush on this girl, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know how to handle dealing with girls. I'm like, I don't even know how to fucking talk to a girl. So it's like throughout 7th and 8th grade, I always had a crush, but I never could actually like gather the courage to ask her. So I just, yeah,
that's the one that got away.
We're going to a different. The one that got away.
Looks like Vernon was the only one bold enough to just go for it.
I held hands. I went for it.
Grade.
You know what? This is the thing, though, is I remember not being the one that was like brave enough to go for it. She actually held my hand. I remember sitting there like I just had my hand down on the thing, and she like put her hand down, and then she did move it, and I was like, and then it just became a regular thing.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, becoming too aware in
this
1st grade. That's so funny. We're gonna find out. It's gonna be like 10 years from now. We're gonna have some mild fame. We're gonna end up on a TV show. I'm gonna tell that story. We're gonna find Aaron.
Dude, what if it was
# find Aaron?
Dude, this reminds me of like a rom-com where like you'll have like 15 women come out and be like, "I'm Aaron,"
and then I'm like, "You have to prove it. You have to prove you're Aaron." It's like a Cinderella thing. You gotta remember the band.
What grade were we in? And who touched whose hand? Okay, who was the first?
Well, I already told all the story on the podcast, so now it's public information, right? So now, like,
well, we'll delete it.
Oh, you're right. We will. You're right. We will. We will. No, we won't. We're not going to delete this. This has been great.
This is too good. This is too good.
This is too good. This is great. No, we'll have to. We'll organize it. It'll be like I'll remember some weird. Actually, I've already got a couple of ideas. Like I'll remember some books from when I was a kid, from 1st grade, and I'll be like, what were the books that we were studying when we were younger? I already remember one. I remember one because it relates to another story. You want to hear another story? I'll just ruin this one right off the fucking bat. So in 1st grade, in the same class where I was in with Aaron, the fucking mystery person who doesn't exist, there was a story that was called "My Sister is Deaf," right? It's just a story. I'm assuming they probably use it in childhood education, likely today. It's just like a thing that they teach kids about, kids who have disabilities. And it's just my sister is deaf. The reason I remember this is because I didn't know the fucking word deaf in 1st grade. So I looked at it and I tried to sound it out, and what did my fucking 1st grade dumbass brain do? I said, my sister is deaf. And I was like, that's definitely a word. Deaf. It's totally it. That's 110% it. And I went along for months reading it in my head. The word deaf is deef, until somebody in a reading group that wasn't mine said, I really like the story, My Sister is Deaf, because my sister is also deaf and she has a hearing disability and I have to learn the American Sign Language to communicate with her. And I just remember being like, oh my god, I've been reading this wrong for like 3 months. It was like the most embarrassing thing at the time. Like I feel like I was consciously avoiding like reading out loud. Oh god, it's so great. I felt like an idiot.
Right? Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't have to read it out loud.
Yeah. I was avoiding it. I was avoiding it.
In such a way is.
Yeah. Well, I was a quiet kid. I was like a really quiet kid. So like when the teachers would call on me to read and I didn't feel like reading, I would just like pretend I didn't hear them, and they would just call on somebody else. I'm assuming it was just like early No Child Left Behind. We don't know what to do, so they were just like, yeah, John, could you take over for Vern? Like, and I'd just be like.
Shit.
And that's how I shirked the education system for 13 years.
So I guess what the excuse that you had was that you were not deaf.
I wasn't deaf. I could hear them. Turns out. It's so embarrassing though. I legitimately, to this day, it's an embarrassing thing for me. The fact that for so like funny. Months I read that as deaf.
Oh, come on. You were like 6.
I know, but it's so funny.
Yeah. Right.
You were 6.
Like, if nobody explains it to you, of course you're not gonna.
I'd never seen the word before in my life. I felt like I was insane.
You know, that happens. That sometimes happens to me now. Like, I'll see a word and I'll know how to read it. I'll know what it means, but then, like, I'll be trying to use it and I'll be like, wait, how the hell do you say that word? What the hell is that word? Yeah. Even now.
I feel like as I'm getting older, I feel like I'm getting more slack-jawed. Like, I feel like I slur my words more often. Like, sentences run into each other and shit. I'm just getting slow. I'm getting old.
Yeah, you just don't have the energy to, like, enunciate.
Yeah. Ram's getting a little out of space.
Yeah, buddy.
Funny, that kind of, you bringing that up, I don't know why it reminded me, but in Brazil, I met Julie's grandfather, and he speaks no English whatsoever. And the whole time he was speaking to me in Portuguese, all the while my wife Julie was nowhere in sight to translate for me. And he's sitting there talking in Portuguese, and I'm like, "No, I forget what the Portuguese, what is it? Shoot,
is it the Portuguese?
I don't speak Portuguese, basically.
Yeah.
Yes. I told him that, but then he kept continuing in Portuguese, and I'm like, Jolie, help me, please. I don't know what to do.
My girlfriend's grandmother does that too, and I try my best to try and like sound out certain Spanish words that I know, and I'm like, hang on. I know some of those words. She's asking me if I'm hungry. No, I'm not hungry. Thank you, abuela. It's so cute, man.
The older they get, the more stubborn they are. It's like, oh yeah, he'll figure it out eventually if I just keep repeating it.
He's trying to teach you Portuguese, bro. You better fucking keep up. That's what he's saying.
He's trying to teach you, but it's like there's no way for me to understand it.
What he's saying is, my toddlers knew how to say these words. You should know this. I think Kara just said coifed. That's a word that got me when I was younger too, actually.
Oh yeah,
it's coming back to me.
Could also be coifed, because apparently a coif is like a piece of leather. A piece of leather. I'm Mike Tyson today. A piece of leather.
Piece of leather.
Why is it? Oh yeah, there
it just came back to me.
That was an inside joke.
The translation is neo falo portuguesa.
Yeah, what's that? Say that again.
That's what.
Say it again, Scott.
Neo falo portuguesa means I don't speak Portuguese.
Oh, that's a good term to know.
We now learned. This is an educational program.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw a little ding over the chat in post. Ding.
Now we know the word coifed.
Coifed.
And this is cerveja. Cerveja, everyone.
Cerveja.
Nice.
Important.
I'm gonna have some myself.
Beer.
Not that I haven't had enough, because I'm over here saying peeth. Peeth leather.
That's pussy for cerveja.
I hate you. He
Good
yells
job,
it into the microphone. You know how much I have to edit with you, Scott? You're the only person. Everybody else stays a distance from their mic. Everything's okay. I go into editing and I watch, and you can see in the bar of audio the spot where it's like... and I go to that spot every time it's Scott like leaning into the microphone. This time it's gonna be me, and this is gonna be a bit, but this is fucking funny.
Quaff.
There it is. Now it's gonna be a triplet.
Cool.
Well,
another word. I got another one that did me in. Colonel.
Do it.
Colonel.
What?
As in like the military rank colonel.
Oh,
I read it as colonel.
Mustard.
Colonel, yeah.
Yeah, and I read it like colonel until I had my my best friend in like second grade or maybe third grade. It could have been fourth grade, maybe. Braxton, if you're out there, what's up, dude? he told me straight up. He was like, "Why do you keep reading Colonel as Colonel?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Why do you keep reading Colonel as Colonel?" I was like, how do you get Colonel out of that?" And he's like, "It's pronounced Colonel." I was like, "Why would you know that?" I was like, "That doesn't make any sense." And he was like, "Because my dad's rank is Colonel in the Air Force." And I was like, I was like, "Fuck." Like, well, you got me.
Yeah, I had a similar struggle with the word Bologna, and I kept hearing all these dumb motherfuckers call it baloney. I'm like,
no, they're wrong though. It is Bologna.
It's Bologna. There's a G in it, dumbass. What are you doing?
Yeah. My Bologna has a first name.
I don't know. That made me tickle. That just tickled me. Bologna. Put some extra Bologna on my sandwich, all right?
Let me get a little extra Bologna on there.
Bologna.
Thank
With
you.
extra
I used to
log.
work at a deli, and somebody come up to me and, "Hey, give me some Bologna." I'd say, "What the fuck are you asking?"
That's amazing.
Yep, let's go get some Colonel Sanders chicken.
Some Colonel
Wrapped in
Sanders
Bologna.
Bologna
Colonel Sanders.
from a deaf person.
I probably have plenty of words that I couldn't pronounce properly. I just can't think of them right now.
Probably. There were a bunch though when I was growing up that I remember reading, and just because I was like a bit of an introverted kid for a while there, I didn't really try to read them out loud to anybody. And then when people like called me out on them, I was just like, "Oh no, I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking moron every time." I had zero self-confidence as a child.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No. I feels you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Well,
Yeah.
to turn the tide a little bit from our sad moments, here's a question.
Sad boy moment. This is our patented sad boy moment. We have a sad boy moment. This is our patented sad boy moment.
Oh yeah. All right. What is your proudest moment?
What is my proudest moment? What is Vern's proudest moment? What is Nathan's proudest moment?
I don't know.
I mean, I can get it started while you're thinking. I don't know if it's my proudest moment,
Yeah.
but it's fairly proud.
What you got?
When I was in high school, I was in the journalism class, and I wrote an editorial for the school newspaper, and it was an explication on why Santa Claus is evil.
That's
So
pretty
basically,
good. I like
yeah,
that.
thank you. It was one of my best pieces that I've ever written, actually, better
That's
than
good
any
stuff.
essay, I'd say.
Good stuff.
Honestly, I'm more proud of that editorial than I am of my grad thesis. I am more proud of the article Chris Criminal.
Chris Criminal.
Yes.
Such a great name, Chris Criminal.
So the premise is,
Chris Kringle.
He's breaking into houses.
Sounds
No,
like
I
a
understand.
well, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. So he started showing up in American lore in the 1700s.
Oh
right?
no.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And so that's where the way that he got all of his raw materials to, make toys was from slave trade.
Oh
I mean, come on.
no.
Oh yes.
Oh,
it sure was. That's
no.
how he got involved, man.
Santa's a
Don't.
slaver.
Well, I can ask you like
No.
to say that, but I was gonna say, Nathan, don't ever have kids.
They're not elves. They weren't
slave.
elves. No.
But then of course the Civil War happened, and they signed.
What? That was the original war on Christmas? Is that what you're telling me?
It might have been, man. It might have been. He might have been behind the Confederacy. Who knows? I didn't go that far into it.
It's the original war on Christmas.
He couldn't.
The Confederacy had Santa. If you looked on the Wikipedia page for the Civil War, it would
wasn't-
be
so
belligerents.
then
It'd be
he
the
lost it. He
United
had to
States of
civil.
America, the Confederate States of America, and underneath of the other two, it'd be like Abraham Lincoln and Santa Claus. That's so dumb. I hate this. Why did you tell me this information?
So
great.
then he kind of struggled through the Reconstruction era, But then
He
when
struggled through the Reconstruction era. What does that mean?
he didn't have all the access to raw materials.
Oh, okay.
He couldn't maintain his operation as steadily.
Oh,
So then
Jesus
in
Christ,
the
this is
1950s
awful. This is terrible.
In the 1950s, he founded the company Walmart. And so then now...
We need to publish this. Where was this published?
In the high school newspaper.
We need a copy of this immediately. We're publishing this again.
Okay. So he's exploiting the sweatshops in China and underpaid employees in order to make his toys. But people are still under the impression that
this is amazing though, because you wrote a fucking a think piece about the use of fucking labor the way that we've done it over the years, and the way that our consumer goods are created. And I don't even know if you realize you did that.
I don't think I did realize that. I just thought it was great. But I was more proud of that than my grad thesis.
But the stuff that you traced along the way, that's the use of consumer goods in Western culture and how we've become a consumerist culture along the way.
Oh my God, they use Santa Claus as the symbol, which is the ultimate symbol of consumerism.
And you ran that all the way up to Walmart and all the way out to slave labor in the Philippines. Dude, you fucking cracked the code and you were a kid.
Yes.
That's fucking outstanding. You were woke as fuck. Nathan, you're woke as shit, dude. Your third eye was awake when you were like 2 years old. What the fuck is going on over there? Oh shit, bro. Sign me up. Give me whatever you're on. That's great. Holy fuck.
I probably have a copy of it sitting around somewhere. I'll find it.
Bro, I gotta read over that. We need to make a video of us just reading that. We'll have it animated. I'll send it off to an animator and have it animated.
We can read it all dramatic.
It'd be fucking great. It'd be great. I actually think that'd be entertaining as shit. What about you, Scott? What's your proudest moment? Ooh, those glasses. That was hot.
Ooh.
Put them shits back on. I
You
wasn't
got
done
that
yet.
nerdy, sexy appeal.
Give me about 5 minutes. I'm just gonna turn my camera off. Don't worry about me.
What was my
screenshot?
What was my most?
Later.
I don't know what my proudest moment was, but
It's not this one. Putting on these glasses, right?
Recently, I guess I could say just like being with the band and performing, like the first performance, I guess you could say, was definitely a proud moment. And actually getting up there and playing with you guys was definitely a proud moment because I have so many had stage fright my whole life, and actually getting up there and doing it was definitely a proud moment, definitely.
So it's like this. So it was a therapeutic thing for you too. You were like overcoming a fear.
Exactly.
Wow, man, that's like.
badass.
Now I had a different one, but I'm changing mine. My proudest moment was when we got Scott to break out of his shell and play in a live band. What? That's amazing. That's my proudest moment now.
Hell yeah.
I'm proud as shit of that. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking amazing. What?
I just wanted to play guitar. You guys had me do vocals, and I was scared as shit when I got up there, but I did it.
But he did it. He's doing it actively. He's
What
kicking
was
ass
the
too.
What was the first gig that you sang on? I can't remember which show that was.
The first gig I sang on, I think, was at the music store,
The Music and Arts Center
in Frederick.
It was
Music
that
and Arts
show.
Center. Yeah,
That was our first.
I don't know if I
show.
that one my proudest. I would have said maybe either at the what is that Spartan Inn or whatever.
Spartan. Yeah.
So I think that was our first performance.
That was one of.
I think I'd consider that.
So I think the
What's
very
that?
first thing was we did the show at Pong's house, and then the second thing that we did was another
right.
show out at that fucking place in Virginia where we opened for those
Vape.
other bands. Vapes.
Vapes.
We shut down vapes.
Down.
We shut down vapes. The next day, another band showed up to play, and that bitch
Every
was
time
closed.
you say that, you're always so proud of it too.
That's my proudest moment. We shut down vapes. Oh no!
Proudest moment, man.
It's the saddest thing, actually.
Destroying
I actually feel bad for
businesses.
that.
I don't feel bad at all.
It was pretty horrible, I'm not gonna lie. I also remember us showing up and just actually I remember us not quite being there. And Scott, you called me and you were like, dude, don't be mad, but I don't have my amp. I was like, what?
You forgot his amp.
What?
It's like if I forgot my floor tom, which I have done.
Oh my god! It was fucking hysterical. I just remember being like, you forgot what? And you were like, my amp. And I was like, I don't have an answer for this problem. I was like, you might have to ask one of the other bands if you can use their stuff. I was like, that might not go over so well, but let's see what we can get out of that.
Yep. And borrow one he did.
Oh man. We became the stereotypical local band the second show we did.
And then like whoever was supposed to be headlining, like just
they dropped
didn't
the
show
gig.
up.
They just said nah.
Yeah.
I think it was like didn't someone like leave their band or something?
They told us that they did not have a vehicle that could get them there. However, they showed up to their next gig on their tour with no issues, from what I saw. So I was like, whatever, man. It's fine.
Yeah, they blew it off.
I'm sure they called the other band and said, how many people are there? And they're like, 4.
Pretty sure
they were
they're in
like,
a band,
all right,
though.
cool. How many of them are the other bands? They're like, 4. That was it. They were like, all right, so we're just going to go to the next one because that'd be faster and we'll get to sleep. Yep. Don't need that $20 anyway. Actually, they probably saved them money to just go to the next gig.
It probably did, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
They didn't have to spend the gas.
So your proudest moment was getting me out of my comfort zone there, Nate? Or Bernie, you want to
I
actually...
think so. I think it's that. I honestly think, like, if I had to, like, guess in my adult modern life, in my since joining and leaving the army, because, like, early in life, it'd be like, I joined the army, I'm proud of that. And then it's like, I made it out of the army, I'm proud of that. Like, some of the stuff I did, I'm proud of that. Like, but, like, I don't really think that that's the most proudest moment of my life at this point. I like to keep that proudest goalpost moving, you know what I mean? I'm looking for the next proudest moment all the time, I guess, you know? And so, like, my last most proudest moment, I guess, was when, you know, I started playing music again and decided to get on a stage and shit. And then now I guess it's breaking you out of your comfort zone and making you do this live band thing. That's fun. It's fun that we did that. I didn't know that was such, like, a thing for you. I had always imagined you as the church leader guitar player guy. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. That was where I was going with you when we first started playing in a band together. I was like, okay, that's definitely him. I see that. Knowing you as a person now, not who you are, I see that. I understand that. But that's what I got immediately. Is I was like, this dude, he knows some church hymns and he could sing them to me. I bet.
Oh man.
You're not wrong.
I know that's not your whole personality though. So it's just so funny. It's just so funny. That was my first impression. And then I immediately realized I was like, okay, no. There's a lot more depth. There's something going on here. Yeah, I remember you expressing to me that you were like, what's that?
I got a funny question for you guys.
What do you got? Hit me.
So, it's actually a funny story behind this, but do you guys know how to say I have a dick in Portuguese?
I don't. Hit me.
That's not the kind of thing I would learn.
I would be one of the first things I learned.
Well,
Eu tenho pau.
Portuguese.
Hit me again. Hit me again.
What is it?
Eu tenho pau.
All right, you're gonna have to say that one more time.
Pau.
Eu tenho pau. Yeah?
El tenho
Yes,
pau.
very good. Eu tenho
tenho
pau.
I got a dick.
My wife is downstairs rolling her eyes right now.
She's like, oh, wow, they all have dicks.
Yep. All right.
I have a dick.
Hey, the story behind me discovering the phrase.
That's just going to be the name of this.
Very good. Muito bom means very good. Muito bom. And the reason I came across this phrase is because I was learning a different phrase. Pow and palm are two different words. Palm is bread, and pow is dick. And I was trying to say palm, and it came out pow. So I said, I was trying to say I have bread. But it came out as I have dick.
I have dick.
Yeah.
I have dick.
I have dick.
Anybody wants it? It's right here.
I'll prove it. Prove it.
That's so funny.
All right, so what is it's El Teño Pao.
Muito bom. Muito
All
bom.
right.
Very good.
Well,
Scott
now
El Teño
Scott knows
Pao.
too much Portuguese. He was definitely a spy.
Yep, he was.
He's lying to us. He wasn't just there on a surgery. He
know,
was spying.
No.
He was spying. Come on.
He's
Come
gonna
on.
He's gonna go to his boss.
He's a CIA agent. Come on. Look at him.
Fluent Portuguese to him.
Look at that jawline. How could he not be an FBI agent or something?
Dude, yeah, he could choke us.
Yeah, you know me.
Dude, he could choke you out by looking at you.
Mm.
Yeah, he'd throat chop us.
He could choke you out with his pow, if you know what I mean.
Pow.
I was just gonna say with my dick.
Like a lasso.
Like a lasso. Like he's throwing it as a fucking a disabling device, a less than lethal device.
When you mention it like that, it makes me think of Scary Movie 2, where there's the scene where there's this
Against the
dude
ceiling.
under the bed, and he
that's
like
one.
there's
That's the first
there's
one.
a fucking clown or something under the bed, and like I guess he's trying to scare the shit out of this dude. I can't remember how the story goes, but in the end, he like lassos the guy with his dick or something.
That's the best. I need that as my
Just reminded you.
my phone call ringtone for you, Scott, is now going to be you saying that sentence. It's going to be you saying, I don't remember how the story goes. Anyway, it ended with him lassoing him with his dick. It's going to be that soundbite. That's fucking hysterical. Everybody should have that as a ringtone for you. Yeah, I don't remember how the story goes, but anyway, he ends up with him lassoing his dick. Yeah, so anyway, I don't remember how the story goes, but it ends with him lassoing his dick.
All right, gotta answer it.
I think the rest of the story is totally irrelevant if it ends like that.
That's the
story
best
does not
way for it to
matter.
end.
Exactly.
That's great. You become a Texas meat cowboy. Made that up just now. Nathan died a little on the inside with that.
He was not found.
Join us next week where you can learn how to be a Texas meat cowboy.
That's actually a pretty good closer. I like that. That's yeah. We're at 57 minutes and 42
Oh, is
seconds.
it already done?
We're at 57 minutes. We've been moving right along. Does anybody have anything to close out for the day?
Damn. Cerveja
don't
means
know.
beer.
Cerveja means beer. Cerveja means beer.
Cerveja.
Enjoy the show is out on
Pal
Spotify. And I recently heard from a little birdie named DistroKid that now it's on iHeartRadio, even though they told me it would be on there like 3 weeks ago. So hey, if you've been on iHeartRadio and didn't know where our music was, it's out now.
Hell yeah!
My mistake.
Yeah.
I've been lying to you. It wasn't actually out on every platform, but now it is, as far as I know. Unless they're gonna hit me with another email tomorrow that's like, actually, it's on Spotify now. Like, just kidding. Enjoy the show's out now. Go listen to it. It's out there. Illusions is on the Metal Spotify playlist for DistroKid. Go listen to that playlist. Take It Away is also out there and has been out there for quite some time. If you haven't heard it, you're living under a rock.
Thing to be proud of.
What's that?
A rock.
That's another thing to be proud of.
I'm very proud of
Having a song on
music.
Spotify.
Yeah.
I will have to say, if
Yeah.
I had to pick a more recent time and a more serious answer about my proudest moment, is probably having recorded music out on Spotify with the band and its original music. Like, I'm definitely very happy about the fact that, like, I've got recorded material out there that I feel good about, that I'm proud of.
Same.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't have anything else to add. If you guys don't have anything else to add, we've been once
I'm
revealed.
good.
You guys have been great. Thank you all for being so well dressed. And join us next week when we learn if we're living in a mirror world, in an alternate universe, where we didn't actually go to first grade, and where instead we are meat cowboys. Thanks so much. Join us next week.
Good night.